My name is Jim, and I have with us is Angela, also known in Haiti as Sose, and she has a tremendous amount of information I want to share with the world you'll find incredibly beneficial but alarming. So, can you go ahead and start with us, Angela?
Well, I don't know where you'd like me to start.
Well, let's go. Who are you? Where do you live?
Okay. Part of the time I live in Clearwater, Florida, but most of the time I actually live in Port-au-Prince. And I also have a home in the northeast section of Haiti in a little tiny village called Dirac. It is near the Dajabon Dominican Republic border, and I love it there.
How long have you been there?
Going on a little over 3 years now.
Okay.
Mm.
And lately, even what about the last year, you've been in Port-au-Prince or outside of Port-au-Prince?
Yeah, for the last year I've been in Port-au-Prince.
And right now, we have a lot in the news going on about
A
that.
lot in the news going on, a lot. But actually, ever since I've been there, there's been a lot going on in the news. Well, not the news, but there's been a lot going on there. Not the news, only the news recently in the last week.
Yeah, the other thing, what you don't see on the news, she has information on because she's actually lived there. She's in touch with the locals, the gangs, the revolutionaries.
I
And
know a senator, good
mhm.
friends with a senator in Fort Betty. I work for a doctor in Port-au-Prince and Patientville. I know many of the gang members down there. They actually like me a lot and protect me and take care of me. I wouldn't say they're my friends, but
Mhm.
they do know who I am and they do respect what I do down there. So I sponsor an orphanage in Port-au-Prince, and I also sponsor a school in Dirac. So they respect me for what I do down there, and I also speak Creole. I learned Creole, which wasn't easy.
Yeah, she's one of the few white women in Haiti that speaks Creole.
I'm one of the few white women in Haiti.
Period.
Period.
Correct.
So that's another thing that's little unusual, I guess. It used to be unnerving to me, but it's not anymore. So literally, I am like the only white person that I see in Haiti anywhere, except for maybe at the airport and at the Marriott where I stay from time to time. Um, White female, white person, period. And they stare at me crazy, but I think it's more of a curiosity than it is disdain or anything like that. But it's yeah, it's pretty wild.
Well, also, she goes to another level. She also takes her service dog wherever she goes. So here she is with a 65-pound Shar-Pei pit bull
Yep.
all throughout Haiti.
Who
And
rides a motorcycle, by the way?
yeah, so that's another reason I'm sure he gets stares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He hops right up on the motorcycle and sits on my lap sideways, and off we go, and he loves it. Absolutely loves it.
So that's a little bit about her, and you're going to learn a lot more about her. But I want you to go ahead and just kind of dig into what's recently happening because we hear of this name barbecue. So how about we start with that? Who is barbecue?
So I have a difference of opinion than most of the news organizations are portraying him as. There's actually a documentary out there by two gentlemen that live in Port-au-Prince and are pretty grooved into what's really going on there and why. And I agree with them 100%. And I have ever since the beginning. Jim can tell you that I, from the beginning, have been saying it's not a bad guy. He's not a gang member. He's a revolutionist, I would say. He has actually banded together many of the gangs in Port-au-Prince that were doing dirty deeds and have turned them around to actually be doing something to try to
Save the country.
save the country. Yeah, you know what I'm
Good
saying?
point.
Like, seriously, save the country. I mean, I know they have to do some things that are pretty outlandish, but nobody was getting, nobody was doing anything. So he had to bring attention
Yeah, so for
to,
3 years we
yeah,
had this prime
excuse me,
minister that was self-elected, I guess.
Ariel Henry. Yeah, the president. I was actually there when the president was assassinated. Um, it's an odd long story in itself. There's corruption there, but so this gentleman, the Prime Minister Ariel Henry, was picked by the President Jovenel Moise. I think it was 2 days before he was assassinated to actually become the Prime Minister. He was never sworn in, and then when Jovenel Moise got assassinated, he was just put into that position to be in charge of the government. And he was only supposed to be there for like 2 weeks, and they were supposed to get an interim in between government to actually set up elections to have the people elect another president of their choice. But he decided he didn't want to do that, and he stayed there, and he's been there for 3 years.
Yeah. People had enough.
They've had enough. They want to be able to pick who they want to pick, and like I said, he wasn't even sworn in. Oddly enough, the president passed away 2 days after he was told he was going to be the prime minister.
That passed
He was
away.
assassinated. Yeah, assassinated. And oddly enough, his wife, the president's wife, is just indicted and conspiracy for the murder as well.
Well, there's even more to that. The investigator was fired.
Yeah, Henri fired the investigator when he was going to investigate him for conspiracy and to help commit that heinous murder crime.
Correct.
And they actually killed him in his own house with all kinds of security around.
Yeah.
Odd.
Yeah, that was odd.
Very odd.
That's odd. There's, again, we go more into detail, but I think at least with the people that are asking me, it's like, what is going on? It's like, okay, is it just always messed up country? But it seems like at another level. And then they hear about this barbecue, who's a gang lord, whatnot. And again, you have a different opinion on that. So
I do.
Can you share that?
Sure. So first of all, I want to let you know that he was a Port-au-Prince or PNH, police of Haiti police officer in Port-au-Prince, and he was as part of a special unit, so he was highly trained, and he was admired and honored by the police force for many years, and they had some incidences go on that were pretty sketchy, and some people got killed and stuff like that. But if you know what I know and you know who to talk to down there, you'll find out that that was like, there's something up with that. And it was the government that made that happen. And he was really upset because when he went in to try to, make things right and, actually, enforce the law, he wasn't allowed to because it involved, some oligarchs and some high ranking people that live in Port-au-Prince. And they kept him from doing anything about those high ranking people. The only people that they would let him arrest or, do anything like that is the poor people.
Right.
And he didn't like that. It's wrong.
And people that wanted to riot or, protest against the current dictator, basically.
Yep. So, the problems in Haiti go way, 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 way back. I don't know if we'll be able to get into that right now because.
Well, I think it's why don't you give an overview?
I'll give a brief tutorial. So, Haiti was ran by France, 1780s, 1760s. France was owned Haiti. The black Haitians came from Africa. They were slaves. They brought them here as slaves. What I don't think they realized was in Africa, they were actually part of the military and they were highly trained there. So when they brought them to Haiti to make them work in the coffee and the sugar industry to make the French a crap ton of money, by the way, they were just really treated badly, and they, I guess, got sick and tired of it, and
they fought back.
They fought back. There's a gentleman called Toussaint Louverture, and he was a slave, and he got many of the slaves together to actually revolt against the slave owners, and they fought, and they actually won their own independence in 1804. They became free. They actually fought Napoleon and won against him. I think they're the only force that's ever beat Napoleon, and they fought hard for their independence. And then once they got their independence, they.
So 20 years later, 19 years.
Yeah,
later.
It was 20 years later. They were told by the French that the French were going to come with all these warships,
500 cannons,
and 500 cannons to make them pay reparations to the French because they lost their slaves, and that's the French were out that commodity, if you will. So they were making them pay. I think in today's money it was like some $1 billion.
No, like $32 billion.
Yeah, $32 billion if it was today's money. Back then it was millions, but nonetheless they
agreed.
They
didn't have that much money.
No,
no way they had that much money. So they had to do loans.
Yeah, so they didn't even. Okay, so the first year's payment would have been more than what the country actually made in that year.
Correct.
Yep, and so the French had another twisting plot to their, up their sleeve. So what they did was they made them take out loans from the small banks in France in order to pay off this debt. And so the French were double dipping. They were not only getting the reparation money, but they were always getting the interest and all that stuff.
So it never could possibly be paid off.
They did pay it off.
Yes, they did.
They did.
122 years
Not only
later.
that, but then they had to take out loans from American banks, Citibank.
Yeah, Citibank.
Citigroup at that time. Citibank. So the Americans ended up making a crap ton of money off them too. And so France said, if you want your freedom, you got to pay this back. And then France, Canada, and America completely turned their back on the independence of Haiti, wouldn't even recognize it.
So they couldn't do trade.
They couldn't do. They wouldn't trade with them. They wouldn't do anything with them. They basically, cut them off from everything. That is the reason that Haiti is the poorest country in our hemisphere right now. They were not allowed to do trade or have commerce with anybody in the entire world. So how are you supposed to, be a country or prosper at all if you can't trade with anybody? Haiti was the richest country in the world. France was making so much money off of Haiti that they called it the pearl of the Caribbean. It was just the richest country, bar none.
Well, you also have the point of France wanted that country so bad that they owned the whole Louisiana territory.
They sold the Louisiana territory to the United States to get enough money to make sure they could have enough firepower and resources to actually go ahead and fight Haiti again if they didn't pay the reparations.
Yeah.
Yep.
So think about that. Louisiana purchase was about 1/3 of the United States.
And not only that, by that time, they were not even paying the original slave owners. Who they were paying was the descendants and the children, generation after generation, of the slave owners that used to own the slaves. So it wasn't even direct anymore. It was like
a generation over.
And by the way, they also built the Eiffel Tower with this money. Most people don't know any of this. It amazes me that
Citigroup.
Yep, it amazes me that nobody's taught anything about Haiti's fight for independence and freedom. It blows me away. But there's a reason behind it, and if you're educated and you dig enough, you'll learn. And they did not want Haiti to be lost to them. It was worth way too much money, ridiculous amounts of money. So what they did was screwed the people over. And they've been screwing them over for years.
But that's how we got into barbecue, right? So that's the mission, the purpose behind it, why people are revolting.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, we're not going the right direction. We're going the wrong direction. This minister or prime minister was 3 years and not making any change.
3 years, not even supposed to be in there, supposed to hand the government over to an elected by the people new government, and wouldn't hold elections, wouldn't leave. The Ministry of Investigation Ministry? Minister? Henri fired him because he wanted to investigate him in conspiracy to kill the president, and he fired him so they couldn't investigate him.
So we got 3 years, right?
Yep.
No election on that. It looks like they're going to have the interior at least done in like another week. So 3 years
we'll
to get it done.
We'll see. Barbecue might have to do something about that at that point too.
Yeah. But all I'm saying is it's moving very quickly now since he's out of the way.
Well, they say it is.
Yeah. Well, we're going to find out.
We're going to find out. Absolutely. And if it doesn't happen, it's going to be a problem because they're tired of it. Every time somebody comes in that says they're going to help, they screw them over really bad. And most of the time, they're worse off than what they were. The UN came in and brought cholera, raped the women, didn't help at all. The United States actually controlled Haiti for 20 years? It was the largest.
They invaded it was like 1905 or something like that.
The largest occupation of a country in U.S. history was the 20 years in Haiti. Wow. Yep. So there's a reason why. Yeah. Back then, I don't think they knew this, but they did know the country was worth a lot of money. Today, it's for a whole different reason. So
we want to wait till the next episode on that one?
Sure, we can. All right. I'll let you know next time.
Angela, she has so much information to share, and this is just a little tip of the iceberg. There's so much more in detail. We're going to have to do a whole series of this because it's like, what's going on now?
I'm going to say this, and I don't care who likes it and who doesn't like it, who wants to give me crap about it. Barbecue is not a bad guy. He's not. A gang member does not try to get education for the people. He doesn't try to get electricity for the people. By the way, there's no electricity in Haiti for the last 2 years, 0. And by the way, they don't even have meters on their walls or anything like that. They have cords running from the street pole into their house with electric cords hooked into them, if they can even get power. Government used to give them power twice a day for 2 hours a day, and now they don't get any. There is no running water. There's no sewer. There's none of that. It doesn't exist at all, and it's never existed. He wants all that. There's no post office. There's no street signs. There's no speed limit. There's no right side of the road. There's there's no hospital. There's nothing. The infrastructure is just deteriorated, and this Ariel Henry has been there for 3 years, and he's done nothing. Zero nothing to do any good for Haiti. He's just taken whatever he's wanted and ran around and did whatever he wanted for the last 3 years, and the people are tired of it. If you ask the Haitians what's going on, they want him out of there, and they've wanted him out of there for a while. They want to be able to pick and choose who they want in their government and who to run their country, and that's it. And you know, fortunate for them that this gentleman, Jimmy Cherizier, also known as Barbecue, felt so strongly about it and, you know, had the ass behind him. Sorry, pardon my French. My French. That he wanted, he made a point to do something about it. So he actually banded together many of the gangs in Haiti that were, again, not, you know, doing anything really good.
I do want to point out something. The news keeps saying gang, 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 right?
Not a gang.
If you look at Jimmy and Barbecue and what she's educated me on, it's more of a revolutionist.
It's a revolution.
You know, it's not a gang. It's more of a way of taking away someone's ability or power to discredit, to
Yep.
lower his status by saying gang, gang, gang.
But and they do all the time. He's not a gang member. He's a revolutionist. He's banded together the people that can actually do something and aren't afraid to do something to get something done for the Haitian people. He's not about the government. He's not about the oligarchs. He's not about the 5% that own 95% of Haiti. And that's true. 5% own 95% of Haiti. It's crazy. And again, there's a reason behind it, a lot of it. And we'll tell you next time. Next episode. But I hate it. I hate that they call him a gang member. I hate that they shine a bad light on him. He's not trying to take money from anybody. He does what he does to try to put attention and get the world to know. He's had to go to this length to let 4,000 prisoners out of the prisons.
There's even a story to that. They're not all.
Yeah, they're not. Oh, yeah. There's a whole documentary on that. You know, at the end of it, I'm going to put some credits in there, some documentaries that you guys can watch and get educated, because you're going to flip. You're going to freak out. Anybody that I've educated on this that thought one way before is like, oh my God, why don't they tell us about this? Why didn't they teach us this in school? Why do we know none of this? Why do we think Haiti is such a bad country with bad people in it? They're not. They've just been screwed over so badly, so badly.
So look at the links down below.
Yep.
They'll be there. All right. Thank you, Angela. We're going to have it many, 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 many times.
Awesome. Okay? Thanks, Jim.
Thank you.
Yep.